Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what I have for you guys today, I have a completely new series idea for you guys, and hopefully you're going to enjoy this one. So this new series is going to be called Poll Predictor. So let me briefly explain what this series is going to be all about. So each week, I'm going to ask you guys a different question relating to the championship, and you're going to get the chance to vote on what you think the outcome will be. And then at the end of the season, we'll look back at all the poll results from what you guys have voted, and we'll basically see how many we got right. So I think this could be a really cool series idea, guys. So if you do like the sound of this series, make sure you leave a like on the video. It is always massively appreciated. So this week's question, guys, for the first episode of Poll Predictor is, who do you think will be this year's championship top scorer? So in the description, I'll leave a straw poll who are probably going to be the 15 players who are most likely to be this year's top goal scorer. And of course, you guys will then have the chance to go and vote for it. So once you guys have voted, make sure you leave a comment on the video as to who you have voted for. And then in the next episode of Poll Predictor, I'll read some of the best comments out. So I'll now go over the list of options that you guys have got to vote for this week. So I must say, before we go into anything here, there are a couple of players that I've missed off this list, probably like goal scoring midfielders. This list is mainly based on strikers and just strikers. There's one or two midfielders here and there, but they're mainly all strikers. So if you think a midfielder could be the top scorer this year, let me know in the comments down below why that is. But I've basically gone for this list for the most likely strikers to be the top scorer. So your first option is Dwight Gale. Obviously, he's had a fantastic start to this season. Already, he scored 4 goals this season for Newcastle, and he is currently the championship top scorer as I'm recording this video. So I think Dwight Gale will be a very strong shout, as he's likely to get a lot of chances playing in this Newcastle side. The next player is then Glenn Murray, of course on loan at Brighton at this point in time. I think Glenn Murray would also be a very good shout this year. He's of course playing in quite an attack-orientated Brighton and Hove Albion side, and he's the sort of player where he's acquainted to this championship level. I think whatever team Glenn Murray plays in, when he's at this level, he's always bound to score some goals. The next player we then have is Ross McCormack, obviously recently transferred to Aston Villa. Ross McCormack will be another strong shout this year. Of course, transferring for 12 million, and I believe in the past 3 or 4 seasons he's scored the most goals in the championship than any other player. So Ross McCormack would definitely be a good one this year. Whether he's going to get the same amount of goals playing in this Aston Villa side as he did for Fulham and Leeds, it's yet to be seen. Then to the next player, we have Britta Assombalonga. Now, I would probably back Britta Assombalonga. The only thing that lingers over him is probably his injury record and whether he's actually going to stay fit. So if you think Assombalonga can stay fit this year and bag the most goals in the championship, make sure you vote for Assombalonga. Then the next player we have is Rudy Gestede. Obviously, he moved to Aston Villa last year and didn't really hit it off in the Premier League. He didn't really get too many opportunities. However, now playing in the Championship, I think this could be a good year for Rudy Gestede at Aston Villa. Of course, he's playing with a strike partner of Ross McCormack this season, so I think those two will work well together this year. He's already got off the goal sheet this year, so if it could be Rudy Gestede, that could be an interesting shout. Then to the next player we had, I wasn't actually expecting to leave this guy on the list, but we have Tammy Abraham. Of course, he's on loan at Bristol City at this point in time from Chelsea, and he's had an exemplary start to the season, already scoring 3 goals for Bristol City. So he's only 18 years of age, so if he was able to become the championship's top scorer, that would be some accolade to get. Personally, I don't think it'll happen, but I decided to leave him in this list anyway. Then to the next player we have Scott Hogan, currently playing for Brentford. So he'll probably be Brentford's main attacking point this season, and I think Scott Hogan's already had a decent start to the season. He's already got a couple of goals for them, so being the top goal scorer, possibly in one will. So if you do think Scott Hogan will get this season's top goal scorer, let me know in the comments down below. Then to the next player, your next choice is Alexander Mitrovic. So he's going to be partnering up front with Dwight Gale this season. Whether he's going to get more goals than Dwight Gale, of course, it's yet to be seen. He's just got back from a suspension that carried over from last season. But I do think Mitrovic will be very deadly in the championship. Whether he's going to get as many goals as Dwight Gale will this season, it's yet to be seen in that Newcastle side. But if you think it'll be Mitrovic, let me know in the comments down below. Then to the next player, we have Fernando Forestieri. So Forestieri is probably more of a midfielder. However, in this Wednesday side, he is played at striker sometimes, so I decided to involve Forestieri in this list. He's had a bit of a topsy-turvy start to the season, obviously, with all this agent talk linking him away from Sheffield Wednesday. It looks like he's settled now, and I could see Forestieri getting quite a lot of goals this season. Of course, he's a fantastic player at the championship level, which is obviously demonstrated by him being linked to so many other top clubs in this league. So in my opinion, it definitely could be Forestieri this year. Then to the next player, we have Nahki Wells. Of course, Huddersfield have had an incredible start to the season, and it'll be an interesting one with Nahki Wells, whether he can ride this season through with his team's performances, with Huddersfield currently being top of the table. So if you think it's going to be Nahki Wells this season, and you think Huddersfield are going to do that well this season, that it's going to be Nahki Wells at #1 top scorer, vote for Naki Wells. To the next player then, guys, your next option is Tom Mohamed. This guy had a fantastic start to last season. I remember he was hitting it off from the off last season, and whether he's going to have the same impact as the same goal scoring rate he had last year, because of course this season he's got Glenn Murray to play up front with, so the goals are probably going to be shared out between those two. However, if you do think Tom Mohamed will get the most goals this season, he's your man to vote for. And then your next option to vote for is Will Grigg. How could I not involve this guy? Of course, last season's League One top scorer, he had an exemplary season last season for Wigan, so if you think he can transfer his League One form into the Championship and turn them into goals, vote for Will Grigg, because he's actually had a very good start to the season. I was a bit pessimistic whether he'd settle into the Championship, because I thought that he might have had it a bit easy in League One last season. However, from what he's shown so far, he's in with a shout. To the next player we then have is Cameron Jerome. So at this point in time, Cameron Jerome's Norwich's only real striker at the club, so he's probably going to be gifted with a lot of opportunities. Norwich are in the market for another striker. However, at the moment, it's probably going to be Cameron Jerome that's going to be their focal point of all their attacks. So I can see a lot of chances falling Cameron Jerome's way, especially with players playing behind him like Naismith and Houlihan. I can see Cameron Jerome getting quite a few chances. He of course scored at the weekend in the East Anglian derby, so if you think it'll be Cameron Jerome this season, go vote for Cameron Jerome. Then the next option is Jonathan Kodjia. He's of course yet to get off the goal sheet this season, which he'll find quite disappointing. The only reason I'd be hesitant to vote for Jonathan Kodjia is because he's been played out wide this season so far at least, so whether the season progresses and he gets played further in the middle, because of course that's where he performed to his optimum last season, it may be a good option to go for, but saying that, I think there might be a couple of better options to go for this season than Jonathan Kodjia. And then for option number 15, I struggled with who to go for with here, but I decided to go for Chris Wood in the end. I think he's had a good start to the season, and Leeds United, I think they're going to have a very topsy-turvy season this year, but if you genuinely think Chris Wood will be this year's top scorer, because he scored an outrageous goal in midweek, a bicycle kick, which was just absolutely phenomenal, so that's the reason I decided to include Chris Wood in this list, because he's had a pretty good start to this season. So if you think Chris Wood will be this season's Championship top scorer, go vote for Chris Wood. So there, guys, are your options for week 1. So I've gone through all 15 options that you have to vote for. So like I said at the start of the video, guys, if there is anyone that I missed out on that list that you thought, you know what, I think they could be the top scorer this season, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always open to other of you guys' suggestions. And also as well, guys, if you would like to see another question being asked in a future episode of Poll Predictions, let me know in the comments down below. And if I do use your idea for a question to post to you guys, I'll leave your comment on screen at the start of that video. So guys, that will now wrap it up for this video, so thank you very much for watching. So if you have enjoyed this new series idea and you would like to see it continue, make sure you hit a like on the video. It is always massively appreciated, guys. Also as well, make sure you subscribe for regular Championship content. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe around here if you are new, make sure you check out all the links in the description down below. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. I always tweet before I upload, therefore you'll never miss a video ever again, guys. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.